and thank you so much for joining us today on Teens Talk TV. Today, our topic is going to be living while in college. So we have a lovely panel here today, and we're so honored to have you all. So we're going to start off by just introducing yourselves. So we'll start with our ladies first, and we'll start with Delaney.
Hi, everyone. So happy to be here. My name is Delaney Haggins. I will be a senior this fall at Montclair State University in Montclair, New Jersey.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Damaris Moore. I am a sophomore advertising major at Howard University.
All right, hey everybody. My name is Andrew, but you can call me Drew. I'm a multi-platform production major at Morgan State University. And I just want to say thank you to Madison for allowing me to be here tonight.
Hey, what's up, y'all? So my name is David. I'm actually a rising junior at Towson University, Go Tigers, and I'm a healthcare administration major.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. We have so many different majors and so many great universities. So we're just going to hop right into it, and we'll start with David. On average, how many credit hours do you take per semester?
I would say right now about 18, sometimes 21. I'm in ROTC, so that does kind of play a little bit of a factor. We have ROTC classes. So yeah, I would say around 18 is the max I would probably take.
Okay, that's great. So I got a Howard and our minimum is 12. So Andrew, Delaney, what is like the minimum amount of credit hours that you guys have to take as a full-time student? And on average, how many do you take, and how do you handle taking a lower amount of credit hours versus taking more?
For me personally, I'm a business administration major. And so on average, they require business students to take anywhere from 12 credits. That would be considered a full-time student. And I would say overall, as well as how I balance, being a business student and taking anywhere from 15 to 16 credits, I balance it pretty well. I feel like that's a good balance for a business administration student only because of the workload and all that comes along with being a business student. So yeah, anywhere from 15 to 16 credits is what I'm used to taking.
So for me, that would be like around 4 or 5 classes. So when David said 18, I'm like, whoa, like that's a lot. I ain't never took 18 before, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I try to keep it between like 15 to 16 credits.
This upcoming fall semester, I'll be taking 16. Last semester I took, for my first fall semester, I took 16, and then spring semester last year, it was 15. So about 15 to 16. I do plan to increase it to 18 just to make sure I get in all my credits, because before I was a business major, so I have some catching up to do. I'm now currently communications.
So this question is for anybody, especially if you think you have great organization skills. So how do you handle staying organized in school and turning in assignments on time? Maybe David, you go first since you're in ROTC. Sounds like you have a heavy workload. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, no, it definitely is a lot. You have to I normally keep a planner. I have ADHD, so I'm kind of always all over the place. So I keep a planner, and sometimes I have like a whiteboard in my room that I just kind of just jot things down if I just have something that pops in my head. So that's basically pretty much it.
I definitely agree having like a planner. That's very essential, especially I know for me, we all are iPhone users, I'm pretty sure. And I tend to use the reminder app a lot on my telephone, which that comes in handy, especially where it will pop an alert on your front of your screen on your phone. So that definitely comes in handy. And I also believe in definitely planning out in a planner. That's very essential. That way you can keep yourself organized.
I use my calendar app heavy, and also my notes app. And it especially can get tricky when you are a part of different things. So a part of different organizations. If you're a business owner, I'm a makeup artist, so I have to keep track of my clients, or if I need to get this product or that product in time for a job or a gig at this event. So definitely I use my calendar app and my notes app. In high school, they always told me to keep a planner, keep my plan, write my stuff down. It never works for me. I can't write my stuff down. So definitely using the modern apps available in order to do that. I mean, it's the same thing, just different methods, different versions. But yeah, definitely putting stuff down on different days and just going throughout my day and making sure I'm keeping that organized so I don't double book myself with whatever it may be.
Thank you so much. We love an entrepreneur. And yes, everybody's always booked and busy with different orgs, Greek life, athletics, all that good stuff. So that does bring me to my next question. Well, outside of social stuff, do you guys ever attend office hours or do study groups? And if you do you think it's beneficial? Tell me a little bit about your experience outside of the classroom.
I know as a guy, sometimes it can be hard for us to ask for help when we think we got it, but I feel like it's always beneficial to just go to office hours if you're struggling and just build a relationship with that teacher, because you never know, like it might be the end of the semester, you might have a 79.8, you know, if you have that experience, if you have that relationship with that teacher, you might be able to, you know, boost your grade up. So I definitely recommend going to office hours, because really it's like everybody for themselves, honestly, when it comes to like doing your work and stuff like that. So
That's extremely important, is building a relationship with your professors, because they remember, well, if you make yourself known and you participate, they remember the students who show up to class, who are informed about it may be a writing course or some sort of English elective course, especially where you get a lot of opportunities to have conversations and share your thoughts and ideas, especially as it pertains to the material that you guys are learning about. And so that really gives you the chance and opportunity to show that you're understanding that. So your participation there, you showing up and showing your face, and also, you know, when you come in the class, is something that I made sure I always did, you know, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, professor, how are you doing? What'd you do over your weekend? What are you looking forward to? Whatever. They always remember students like that, so that when you need a favor, maybe something happened, life always happens, and you turn something in late, they're like, okay, I can give you a little bit more leeway because you're always attentive, you're on time, you're in there. That's extremely important.
I couldn't agree more, Delaney. David, do you guys have anything to add to that?
Sure. I can add on. I definitely agree with everyone what they're saying. I know for me, I take advantage of also helping out with small groups. I know that's beneficial for me. I think having maybe about 4 or 5 individuals in a classroom where we can exchange numbers and have a, you know, study group outside of class, that's very beneficial. That way we're all keeping each other on track. And that way, if we're struggling on a specific problem, whether it be for statistics or accounting, whatever class it may be, that way we can all help each other out. And also a TA assistant, that definitely comes in handy as well. I know for me, going to a medium-sized university, a lot of times in larger lectures, they have TA assistants, which they can be beneficial if I can't reach the professor on hand. So
Like college is very, very expensive. So I basically just try to use everything that I possibly can. So we have at Towson, we have like it's called a writing center. So if you have issues with like essays or something like that, you can just go to them. They'll kind of like help you out, give you some tips. So I definitely try to use that when I can, or like, especially I would like to piggyback off what they said earlier. So definitely make relationships with your teachers, because a lot of times they really don't care. Otherwise, like you don't have a relationship or you don't talk to them, then they won't talk to you. And that's just kind of how it is. So I like to just probably just make a relationship, especially at the end of the semester when you have like a 69.4, trust me, you need that extra 0.1%. Trust and believe, you need it. So yeah, definitely relationships are key.
The small groups, about what Delaney was mentioning, actually, I remember I took a course called Intro to Caribbean Literature. And for the final, I was having a little bit of trouble with the final because honestly, I wasn't doing everything. I did office hours as well, but there was still something about the like the books or the central point she was trying to get at that I didn't quite understand. So I texted about 4 of my classmates, and we were just discussing the final, and in discussing the final, one of my friends actually helped me to understand exactly what the entire point that the professor was trying to make about Caribbean culture and just what the point of the final was. So it's definitely beneficial to talk to other people, because other people may be able to give you insight, because people also come from different backgrounds, and whatever way that they can relate to the topic, that may give them that insight that can help you specifically understand the course or, the assignment. So small groups, definitely.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. I think Group Me is so annoying, but it comes in clutch all the time. For those of you who don't know, Group Me is this like app basically where you can have like hundreds of people in one big group chat, and the night before an assignment or a final or whatever, Group Me is always blowing up my phone. So definitely making those connections is really, really important. Another thing that's really important is mental health. Now, most of us here go to HBCUs, and I don't think that I have to tell you guys about the trauma that the Black community has with mental disorders and situations. We don't always handle it the way that we're supposed to. But does your university have mental health days or health services, and do you think that they're accessible to you?
Morgan State, we do have mental health days. They're usually on like Fridays, or it might be on a random Wednesday, but they definitely make sure to put at least one in each semester. I think that's a new thing ever since COVID, just because everybody having a lot going on and whatnot. But Morgan also offers a type of center where you can just sit down and talk to people. You just got a lot on your mind. You just want to vent. They literally have people there for you. So it's definitely a good benefit to always get some help, or even just call up a friend when you got a lot on your mind and just release.
I know Howard does have therapists and stuff like that available. And there's a whole like department where, you can sit and talk to somebody. And then if you maybe need something adjusted with your learning, like if you have certain things that you're going through or dealing with, they'll assist you with talking to your professors so you can get that accommodated and things like that. But and we do have mental health days, but in terms of truly actually taking care of that, for me, what has helped is definitely just being openly communicative about what it is that bothers me, or because I've surrounded myself with a friend group who I can do that with. And so it's like, that's what I would say is important, because sometimes it's not always easy to talk to somebody who does have an official position. You want somebody that knows you, that actually knows you, that you can feel comfortable talking to. Forming a relationship with even the other ladies on my dorm floor, just making sure that you're, even if it's just, saying, oh, hey, how you doing? And you extending that to other people, then that'll open the door for people to ask you how you're doing. So it's just, also leaning on your fellow, insert whatever mascot you have, my fellow bison, whatever.
You have to check on people constantly, because a lot of times, especially as guys, I don't really like talk about like what's going on the inside really like that. But you really got to check in with your friends and just make sure that they're okay. We actually had a fellow cadet who's in ROTC. He just committed suicide like 2 weeks ago. It was crazy. But yeah, you definitely have to check on people. We do have like some type of, I think it's like a mental health center, or like where you can get counseling at Towson. But yeah, I wish we had like mental health days. That would really help. But no, we just have like a counseling center. I think there's like we also have a mentorship program where you can like reach out to somebody like who's maybe in like a higher class or something like that.
I would like to piggyback off of David. Since we both attend PWIs, I would say too, we don't necessarily have mental health days at my university. If anything, they call it reading days. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, where we have it once or twice a month. And I would maybe consider those mental health days, where it's like a day to kind of regroup, focus on your academics, and take a day for yourself. So if anything, that can maybe be considered a mental health day. But I know that my university, we do offer a facility on campus, which is called CAPS. And it's for counseling and psychological services, which they do help and allow students who are dealing with mental health or other things that may be going on personally in their lives. They can go and sit there and talk to someone and receive the assistance that they need, which actually they do specialize in trying to help Black African American students, which is really great. So I wouldn't necessarily say in regards to do we have a mental health day, I would probably say no, but we do offer services on my campus.
That is awesome. Yeah, you definitely have to get it in how you can. And I also think that one thing that helps me, I am not diagnosed, but I believe I have high functioning anxiety. So my Google Calendar is looking like a rainbow all the time because I know that missing one assignment is going to send me down a rabbit hole. So definitely putting systems in place to make sure that you keep yourself in check is very helpful. But there's no one I love talking to more than my mom. So that brings me to my next question. Do you guys go home very often? Do you guys live close to your university? And if you go home, how is that helping you like in your college experience? Are you like, no, I was ready to get away from home? Tell me a little bit about that.
Since I'm so close to home, I always come back. Like, I wouldn't say always, but probably like every like 3 weeks, every 2 to 3 weeks, just at least to wash my clothes, get some food, chop it up with my folks, you know what I'm saying? Like, just to keep me in the right mind space. It's always like a refresh button when I come back and I go back to school, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, if you go to a college that's close to home, I would come back, every once in a while just to check up.
Yeah, I want to agree with that, especially on the food part, man. Like, if you eat up at campus, like when you come back home, you're gonna get some good food. It's gonna fill you up. You're gonna feel good, man. Like, that's one thing about it. It's definitely, I would say it's like a refresher because like there's so much stuff going on campus that like when you come back home, it's kind of just like a breather almost, I would say. Like sometimes I come home, I act as well, so I'm an actor. So sometimes I come home just to like, I'll have like filming on the weekends or something like that. So I'll come home, get what I need to get done. Then I just go back to campus and just handle business with school.
It is a lot going on, just like David said, it's a lot going on. Sometimes, I got to college and it's just like, dang, like I'm taking so many L's in a day. Like it's ridiculous. So sometimes you just got to go back home and just, you know what I'm saying? I'm an environment person. So when you're in the environment of a space where you can just, chill, like you can get out the shower and just walk to your fridge. You can just sit on the couch. Like, I don't know. It's just something about, well, me personally, it's me and my mom. We live here. So, of course I love speaking with my mom and just hanging with my mom and chilling with my mom. And just also being with myself in my own environment. It's definitely a refresh and a reset. And I actually just was on Howard's campus. I think a benefit of living close to your school is you're going to have to move in and move out, so that's really convenient. The housing situation was kind of crazy, so I just went and I went to the office of residence life, and I got that situation rectified. So for me it's like super convenient. So it was a great choice being close to home.
Since I'm in New Jersey, I'm about 2.5, 3 hours away from home. I don't come home often, I would say, because I'm a cheerleader. So a lot of times I'm very busy with that for football, especially that's about to gear up. And I'm a part of Greek life. Hey, Host Madison. And so if anything, it gets a little hectic. So I would say I've maybe come home only for holidays, and I did come home. I did go to Morgan's homecoming this past year. So I came home for that to have a good time with some friends. But other than that, I don't really come home that often.
And I heard about the food multiple times. So do you all have a meal plan on campus? If you do, is it good? Or Namaris, you talked about being so close to home. If you live off campus, do you cook? Howard's housing situation is not the best. So I live in Trellis. You know where that is probably. So I end up cooking. So tell me about your meal plan and how all that works and all that good stuff.
So I just got Towers. So right next to Trellis, but I just got Towers and there's a Whole Foods right next to it. So I plan to cancel that meal plan. And I just saw a TikTok about how meal plans are a scam. It depends on how much you enjoy it, I guess. But $3,000, and honestly, I don't use all of them swipes. I'm not gonna lie. I don't use all of those swipes. And I be at the Chipotle, I be at that Jamaican food restaurant, I be there, right? So I plan on canceling my meal plan. It was cool for my freshman year, popping in and out the camp, whatever. It's cool little laugh sometimes. But yeah, I do cook when I come home. That's like my number 2 priority is I cook like illustrious meals, and then I take it back to campus and I put it in my fridge in my dorm and I heat it up. But yeah.
Me, I'm actually not a big cooker, but I do live in an apartment with 3 of my other friends. And from time to time, if I have time, I do cook a good meal. But for most of the time, I have a thing called Flex and Swipes on my campus, which for Flex, they're for certain places on campus, as well as for Swipes, you can only use them for maybe, I would say, Panda Express or California Tortilla. We don't really have a lot of nice food options. We do have a Panera on campus that I tend to go to a lot more. But other than that, I'm not a big cooker, but I do take advantage of my Flex and my Swipes.
I was just gonna say, man, like, I don't know. I feel like my whole dining experience is just a scam because number one, all right. So here's a rundown. At Towson, they closed the central dining hall at 7 p.m. So if you have a night class, you're just out of luck. And then the food, I mean, yeah, it's not like horrible food or anything like that, but it's definitely not like home cooking. You can also tell when they're gonna have a tour that day because they make the food really good for that day. And then you'll just have the tours, eat the good food, and then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, you can see people had a tour today, or they had an inspection today, or something like that. But yeah, so, and then also, I don't know when it was, but I sat down, I just really looked at the numbers. I was like, you know what, $4,000. I just really want to see like how much this is per week. So I broke it down, and basically like you spending like an extra $2,000 is just kind of just lingering out there. Nobody really knows what it's really paying for. So yeah, it's really something.
I just wanted to say something real quick. So me, I live off campus. So that means I have to buy groceries. Like I didn't have a meal plan, but after doing that for a while, it's like sometimes you do want to have, something to fall back on, like if I'm on campus, or I just don't feel like cooking because cooking takes up so much time. So I would suggest just having like a small meal plan. You don't got to get the biggest one, but just something that you can fall back on just in case, you know what I'm saying? You're hungry, you're on campus, you want to get some quick food.
Thank you guys. And David, that's so funny that you say that they cook good food on tour days. I'm a tour guide at Howard, and I promise you, we do nothing special for them tour groups. So at least y'all got that. That's really nice. But some of you live on and off campus. We heard about it a little bit. Can you guys tell me a little bit about roommate situations? Some people end up loving their roommates their freshman year, some people not so much. So if anybody has a really good story or not so great story that they want to share, please do.
All right, I have an interesting story to tell. So my roommate was actually my good friend for like a long time. So it was going real good for like probably like the first 6 or 7 months until I find out that he wasn't paying his half of the rent. So, I mean, that caused a lot of problems, but I would just say as far as having a roommate, make sure you choose somebody that you can really trust, or you can go ahead and step outside your comfort zone and get somebody completely, that you never met before. But either way, I feel like it's a good experience,
I roomed with my a friend of mine. We went to high school together, and we shared the room. And
Quad? CHN quad?
Quad.
Okay, go ahead.
QUAD. But yeah, so I stayed in quad and 4th floor Baldwin Hall. But anyway, okay, sorry. Anyways, so yeah, we went to high school together and it was a great experience. Actually, I made my current friend group now, which we beat the odds because everybody says, oh, your freshman week friends aren't going to be your friends. We became friends in April before we moved in August, and we've been friends ever since. We applied for housing together. So all of the girls in the group, we applied for the same hall, same floor, and we got it. So it was so much fun. It was the best experience. I stayed, like I said, in quad. It was communal bathrooms. We all had roommates and stuff. So it was like a true college experience, but it was perfect. And the other dorms, like as an incoming freshman, I had the young ladies telling me, you have to stay in quad, you should really stay in quad, you should really, and it was a great experience. It really does matter where you live. Some people are like, oh, I don't care. It matters because for me, I built like a relationship with those ladies on my floor, and I will always look out for them. And so it was a wonderful experience. Definitely heavy on somebody that you're gonna trust, because all your belongings are gonna be there. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, you come back, you might be on the phone, that person will hear your business. You feel what I'm saying? So definitely gotta be somebody that you trust. But I had a wonderful experience.
I lived in an on-campus, off-campus sort of apartment style living with three of my other girlfriends. And I would say it was a great experience. We had a lot of fun. We actually threw a lot of like holiday parties. We threw a Christmas party. We did a lot of different type of functions that we had in our apartment. And for the most part, I really don't have anything to complain. We had 2 bathrooms. I lived in a double with one of my close friends, and then our 2 other roommates, which were all friends, they had a single. So if anything, they had their own little space, and then I shared a double with my friend. But for the most part, it was a really great time.
I don't know. I would say at first I was kind of like nervous about having somebody I didn't know, because I just did like basically random assignment. But after I did it for like the first time, it really wasn't too bad. I guess I got on the luckier side of things, because I do know some people who had like horror stories and just like crazy stuff happened to them. But I mean, I just never really experienced any of that. So yeah.
Good for you. Not everybody can say that. So I'm glad you all like your living situation. I stayed on Baldwin 3, quad was great, so shout out. But I heard some of you are entrepreneurs. So do you guys work while you guys are at school? I know, Delaney, you might be a little bit too busy for work, but if you guys work, how do you balance that with school? And if you don't work, and if you don't mind sharing, where do you get your spending money from? And we can start with Delaney.
Not too busy to have a little income coming in on campus, but I will say I work in the IT department actually on campus as a IT student assistant, where I basically just travel amongst different classrooms on campus, make projectors are working and operating for a class to come in or whatnot. For the most part, that's pretty much what I do. And yeah, I got to have some income coming in, especially I'm an out-of-state student. I got to have some money rolling in.
Like I said, I'm a makeup artist. And so I pretty much I joined Howard University Elite Models, which is a modeling organization on campus. They also have, videographers, it's just a team of creatives. And so through them, I've had like opportunities to work with different creatives. So, sometimes it's collaborative. It's not always paying, but I am also a freelance makeup artist. So I do take clients and do jobs for events, brand shoots, and things like that. So I pretty much just work with my schedule whenever I have free time. I make it my availability. Sometimes, I miss parties to go work jobs and stuff like that. Just whenever I can, because, hey, income coming in is income coming in, and that's just my kind of thing. I love that creative stuff. So, yeah.
So I'm actually a music producer. So here and there, I have people like buy my music from me, buy my beats. But I also, because freshman year I didn't have a job, I wasn't really planning on working. But in the fall semester, I said, bro, I gotta have some money coming in. You know what I'm saying? But so I went to the financial aid office, and in the financial aid, you can either do scholarships, you can apply for scholarships, or you can get a work study program. So with that, they'll just give you a job. So luckily, I was blessed to be able to work at a boxing studio with young kids. So it didn't even feel like work, honestly, and I was getting paid. So I do recommend anybody to just reach out to the financial aid office, try to get work study.
I got like an on-campus job this past semester. I just started working at it's basically called like a residence hall assistant. So basically what you do is you kind of sit at the front desk, you kind of just look at people's warrant cards or just their IDs when they come in the residence buildings and stuff like that. So it's really chill. You can do your homework. A lot of times I just listen to music or just like watch Netflix while I'm on a job, which is pretty cool. So yeah, outside of that, I do acting, I do photography. So I just kind of like freelance on that.
That is awesome. I'm so glad that everybody has found a way to make a little bit of money. Most of us go to schools in cities. So, when you hit the streets in the cities, the money goes really, really fast. So I'm really happy everybody has a little bit of party money, use street money, day party money, whatever the case may be. So we talked about school, we talked about food, we talked about housing. Now let's talk about fun. What do you all like to do for fun on your campus? I know you guys have your own little personal hobbies, but what is something that your university has that is your favorite part of attending? And we can start with David.
I'm not gonna lie to you, for my fun, I go to Morgan, so I'll be out there. But no, Towson is actually a fun campus. You just gotta know people and know where to go. Some people like going to the bars. I'm not that type of person, so I just go to basically the parties who are like just basically whoever I know is hosting a party that night. I'll just go out.
Especially in the spring and the summertime, or spring, early summer, when it starts getting warm again, spring semester or fall semester. In the beginning, it's a complete movie. I swear, it's always something to do. Day parties, night parties, we out, we're going outside, come on, let's go. So, it's really nothing. You don't really have to search for things to do, especially if you're able to be a social person. Just by word of mouth, you might be walking across the campus and somebody is talking or whatever, and maybe they say like, "Oh, I like your shoes" or whatever, oh, thank you, girl, what's the move? It's nice weather, da da da. Boom, it's a move. You kind of have to also take initiative yourself and be like, okay, I'm not about to sit in this dorm all day. It's time to go. So, it's really, especially being in DC, it's always something to do. Hit up your friends. Oh, let's go here, let's go there. Beyond restaurants and bars and stuff like that, there's parks, there's escape rooms, axe throwing. It's an abundance of opportunities that you could just look for, or even create your own fun in your dorm.
For me, I am near the Big Apple, New York City. I'm about 30 miles from New York City, so I tend to go there a lot. And so that's how I get my fun down, going to the city. I have a train station on my campus, but funny thing is, it doesn't run on the weekends. I don't know why they did it that way. It only runs Monday through Friday, which is ghetto, but it's okay. But if anything, that's how I spend a lot of my fun, going into New York City, and also just spending time with a lot of my friends, my line sisters. We have a good time. Can't go wrong with a good Greek function. It's always a fun time with that. And I would say, as far as on campus, the Haitian organizations, they throw a lot of nice events. So I would say they have some nice events. The SGA, they throw a lot of nice events. And the D9, we try to throw some events also to keep the Black community alive on campus. So that's how I spread my fun.
Going back off what David said about him coming to Morgan, you know what I'm saying? Honestly, in my opinion, I feel like Morgan could be a lot more lit, to be honest. As far as having fun, I kind of met people who do the same things as me, like as far as music. So I like to go to the studio for fun. But besides that, my friend group, we like to, we live off campus, so we can easily just throw parties and kickbacks whenever. So yeah, we tend to make our own fun, but if not, we had a day party. Yeah.
To bounce off of Delaney, and talking about certain things like the Haitian organization or Haitian club, or certain things like that. The school also, like the SGA and Houston and stuff, they throw events and stuff like that, especially around like the pageants are fun to go to, besides homecoming, spring fest, the student choice awards and just all the different kind of things. So the school organizations also throw nice things too.
I will say, my experience as far as for homecoming is definitely a lot different than you guys. And I will say, I would travel home to go to an HBCU homecoming in a heartbeat. I went to Morgan's last year. I went to Howard's growing up. It's always a fun time. So I definitely know how y'all get down for sure.
Well, we invite y'all because we know y'all want the fun. And yes, can't ever go wrong with a day party. Ever, ever, ever. I've never been to a bad day party ever. But that wraps up today's episode. I want to thank you guys all so much for sharing your experience. All of you guys have such unique experiences, and you guys coming on here today has definitely helped somebody figure out what university they might want to go to or how to survive or live in college. So thank you guys so much. So everybody who's at home watching, please check out inreachinc.org for more information related to this topic, upcoming events, and more information about things going on in Prince George's County. See you guys next time.